I still remember the exact second my heart cracked open, like glass shattering in slow motion, when I realized the people I loved most had been using my home as their emergency exit for years, and I was finally closing the door. You ever feel that? Like you've been holding up the sky for everyone else, and one day you look up and realize your arms are breaking? That's where this starts. My name is Ethan. I am Chijiste Usme. I work as a project manager in construction. Ironic, right? I build things for a living, but for the longest time, I let my own life get torn apart piece by piece. I own a modest 3-bedroom house on the edge of the city. Paid it off early. No kids, no partner, just me and a quiet that used to feel peaceful until it started feeling empty in all the wrong ways. My younger sister, Lena, has 5 kids. 5. Ages 12 down to 3. Beautiful chaos on legs. Her husband, Ryan, he's the kind of guy who always has a big thing coming through soon. Been saying that for 8 years. Growing up, I was the fixer, the one who showed up. When mom got sick, I handled the bills. When dad lost his job, I picked up extra shifts. When Lena got pregnant at 19, I was the one who drove her to appointments. I never minded. That's what family does, right? Wrong. It starts small. 100 here for diapers. 200 there for rent when they're short. It becomes a rhythm. A habit. A silent contract you never agreed to. I gave him a spare key 3 years ago. Just in case. Lena said, tears in her eyes after Ryan lost another job. What if something happens to you? Who would check on the house? I handed it over without thinking twice. What actually happened was the kids started coming over after school. Then on weekends. Then Lena would drop them off for just an hour that turned into entire days. My fridge emptied faster than I could fill it. My couch got sticky fingerprints that never quite came off. My office, my one sacred space, became a playroom with Legos ground into the carpet. I told myself it was fine. I'm the uncle. This is what uncles do. But then came a message that changed everything. It was a Tuesday night. I was eating takeout alone, scrolling through nothing when my phone lit up. Lena, big news. We're moving in with you for a few months. Just until we get back on our feet. The kids are so excited. Told them it's like a long sleepover at Uncle Ethan's house. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Red heart, red heart, red heart. No question mark. No, would that be okay? Just announcement. Declaration. Done deal. I stared at my screen for a full minute, fork frozen halfway to my mouth. They were planning to move 5 children and 2 adults into my 3-bedroom house. My quiet, paid-off, carefully built sanctuary. I typed back, wait, what? We haven't talked about this. 3 dots. Then, Lena, oh come on, don't be like that. You have all that space. You don't even use the upstairs bedrooms. It's perfect. We'll help with bills and everything. Family helps family, Ethan. That night, I couldn't sleep. I walked through my house like a stranger, touching the walls, opening empty drawers, standing in the spare rooms that had become storage for my photography gear and books. My life. My peace. The next few weeks were a slow-motion invasion. Lena started sending photos of the kids, picking out which room would be theirs. Ryan texted asking about parking. Said they'd need space for both cars and maybe a trailer. She posted on social media, so grateful for my amazing brother opening his home to us during this transition. God provides. Hashtag blessed, hashtag family first. Comments poured in. What a good man. You're so lucky to have him. This is what real family looks like. I hadn't said yes. Not once. Every time I try to talk about it, the conversation got derailed. You're overthinking this. The kids are so excited. Don't break their hearts. It's just temporary. You don't understand how hard it is with 5 kids. My mom called. Ethan, honey, Lena says you're being difficult. She's really struggling. Can't you just help your sister? Difficult. That's what they called it. Difficult. I started having panic attacks in the shower. Couldn't breathe, thinking about waking up to screaming kids every morning. About never having privacy again. About my home, my one achievement, my safe place, becoming a dormitory I never signed up for. But that wasn't the worst of it. The worst came 3 weeks later. I came home from work early one Friday to find a moving truck parked in my driveway. My actual driveway. Boxes stacked on the lawn. Ryan directing two guys carrying a bunk bed toward my front door. Lena was on the porch, key in hand, my spare key, trying to open the door. It wouldn't turn, because I'd changed the locks 2 days earlier. She didn't notice me at first. She was banging the key against the knob, muttering under her breath. "Come on, stupid thing. Mommy, why isn't it working?" One of the kids asked from the grass, holding a stuffed dinosaur. "It's fine, baby," Lena called back, voice tight. Uncle Ethan just forgot to tell us he changed the locks or something. I stood there in my driveway, grocery bags in hand, watching my sister try to break into my house with her children watching. That's when she saw me. Her face went through stages, surprise, then confusion, then something darker. "Ethan," she forced a laugh. "Perfect timing. The key's not working. Did you get new locks? Anyway, help us get this stuff inside. The guy's charged by the hour." I set my groceries down slowly on the hood of my car. "Lena," I said quietly, "you're not moving in." She blinked. Actually blinked like I'd spoken another language. "What are you talking about? We talked about this. The kids have been packing for days. We gave notice at our apartment. We have nowhere else to go." "You never asked," I said. My voice was steady, calmer than I felt. "You told. You announced. You assumed. But you never asked me if this was okay." Ryan came around the truck then, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Hey man, little help here? This bunk bed is heavy." I ignored him, looked only at Lena. "I changed the locks because I was afraid you'd do exactly this. Show up without my permission and try to move in anyway." Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. You're seriously doing this? Right now? With the kids watching?" One of the little ones started crying. The oldest was staring at me like I'd grown a second head. "You want to talk about the kids watching?" I said. "How about teaching them that boundaries don't matter? That if you want something badly enough, you can just take it? That other people's homes are communal property if you're desperate enough." Lena's face crumpled. Real tears this time. "How can you be so cruel? We're family. I can't believe you'd." "You're not homeless, Lena," I cut in. "You're choosing to be here instead of finding another solution. You gave notice without my agreement. You booked movers without my consent. This isn't desperation. This is entitlement." The moving guys were shifting awkwardly, pretending to check their paperwork. Ryan tried the reasonable approach. "Come on, Ethan. Let's talk inside. Work this out like adults." "There is no inside," I said. "Not for you. Not today. Not ever like this." Lena was sobbing now. Full performance. My babies have nowhere to go because their uncle is throwing them out on the street. The neighbors were starting to watch from windows. I pulled out my phone. Not to record, though part of me wished I had. "No," I opened my banking app. "I'm transferring you $2,000 right now," I said. "Enough for first month's rent and deposit somewhere else. I'll even help you find a place. But you're not moving into my house." She stared at the notification as it came through on her phone. Then she looked up at me with pure venom. "Keep your blood money," she spat. "We don't need charity from someone who clearly never cared about us anyway." They loaded everything back onto the truck. The kids were crying. Ryan wouldn't look at me. Lena kept muttering about how she'd never forgive me, how I was dead to her, how the whole family would know what kind of monster I was. As the truck pulled away, I stood in my empty driveway and felt nothing. Not triumph. Not guilt. Just the deepest, quietest relief I'd ever known. Like I'd been holding my breath for 15 years and finally exhaled. The fallout was brutal. Family group chat exploded. Mom called me heartless. Dad stopped speaking to me. Cousins I'd barely talked to in years sent me messages about how disappointed they were. Lena told everyone I'd promised in the house and then locked them out with nowhere to go. That I'd traumatized her children. That I'd chosen things over family. But here's the thing they never understood. I didn't choose things over family. I chose myself. For the first time in my entire life, I chose myself. And yeah, it hurt. God, it hurt. Watching my nieces and nephews drive away crying. Knowing I'd be the villain in their story for years. But I also know this. Those kids deserve parents who teach them that no is a complete sentence. That love doesn't mean unlimited access. That being family doesn't make you entitled to someone else's peace. I still love them. I'll always love them. But love isn't a key you can use to walk into someone's life and rearrange the furniture. Sometimes love means standing at your own door and finally locking it. So tell me, be honest. If this was you, if someone showed up with a truck full of their life, expecting you to just absorb it all because family, would you open the door? Or would you change the locks too? Let me know in the comments. You're not alone in this. None of us are. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe for more stories.